Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Arabic of the Quran series. Today we'll be doing lesson number 10, Gender, Fake Feminine. So let's begin. So we have finished status, we have finished number, now we are at the third property of an ism, which is gender. Gender is divided into two parts, masculine and feminine. Now here's the thing, in Arabic, masculine is all the words, okay? All the words are assumed at first to be masculine. But if the word shows some clues or some signs, then we'll tell that the word is feminine. So now what we are basically going to learn is the signs of femininity. Why is the word feminine? How do we know if the word is feminine? Because we will assume that all words we come across are masculine. We'll assume that. And then we will see if there is any clues that point towards it being feminine. Okay, you got that? So now we will be looking, this entire gender topic will only be focusing on feminine because we assume that all words are masculine. Okay, so now let's move on to find the clues that will tell us if when the word is feminine. So in Arabic, feminine means two things. Either it's real feminine or fake feminine. Real feminine is things that are feminine by itself. For example, mother. Mother, I don't need to tell you, you didn't come to this lecture and know that mother is not a female. You already knew that way before. Same for daughter. I don't need to tell you why daughter is feminine. You already know. And names, girl names like Maryam, Huda or Husna, all these words are what? Real feminine. Why? Because they refer to real things that are female. Great. Next is fake feminine. Fake feminine are things that don't really have a gender. For example, things like car, sun, cow, etc. These don't have a gender in English. We just tell them it. But in Arabic, these things will be considered female. You'll see why. And since these things don't have a gender by themselves, they are called fake feminine. And not all objects are fake feminine. Some objects will be masculine and some objects will be fake feminine. Okay? Now let's move on to see. Now we'll talk more about fake feminine, because look, we already know real feminine. Okay, we already know that if you hear a word that has, for example, aunt, you already know that it's real feminine because it's based on a person that's feminine. So what we'll be discussing about more is fake feminine, because that we don't know how it is. So we'll be talking about clues that the word is fake feminine. Okay, so now let's move on. The first clue that a word is fake feminine is if it has ta marbuta, alif maksura or alif mamduda. Okay, at the end of the word it should have ta marbuta, alif maksura or alif mamduda. Ta marbuta is the most common. If you see this at the end of the word, there is high possibility that it is fake feminine. And alif mamduda and alif mamduda, this is alif mamduda and this is alif maksura. Alif maksura and alif mamduda only special words. Not all words that have alif maksura are feminine. You'll see why. And even alif mamduda, not all words that have alif mamduda are feminine. So the most obvious thing is ta marbuta. If you see a ta marbuta, then be sure that that word is feminine, fake feminine, of course. Okay, so what are the examples? First of all, we see the word baqratun. Baqratun, it has a ta marbuta at the end. So we will tell that this is fake feminine. By the way, baqratun means cow. Yes, the last slide we saw fake feminine example being cow. Now we know why, because it has ta marbuta at the end. So baqratun is fake feminine because of the ta marbuta. Safra'u, this is also fake feminine. Can you tell me why? Yes, this is having alif mamduda. Musa. Now look, Musa has the letter alif maksura in it. But is it feminine? Do you think Musa is a feminine thing? No, Musa is masculine. That's why we tell that these two only work on special words, not everywhere. Okay, sometimes the meaning also is important. Next, Huda. Huda is two things. It can either be a name in which it will become feminine because it's referring to a real person, or it can be what its meaning is, guidance. When it's used in the Qur'an, it's used as guidance. So when it's used as guidance, it is masculine. Just because it has alif maksura doesn't make it feminine. Okay, that's why I put these two here so you can understand. Next is broken plurals. So look, we learned in the previous lecture that broken plurals are treated like singular and feminine. Non-human broken plurals and at times human broken plurals also can be treated as singular feminine. They are feminine. They are fake feminine. Now we are just echoing the same concept. Their broken plurals are feminine, and most importantly, they are fake feminine because these refer to things or ideas or something like that. It's not like human things. When it's human, it has an option, but even there's an option of it being feminine. Okay, so what are the examples? Hujurun, sunanin. These words are clearly broken plural because hujurun means rocks. It's plural and it's non-human, so definitely broken plural, non-human broken plural, so definitely it's a feminine, and most specifically fake feminine. Next is sunanin, legacies. Again, this is an idea. This is not a person. We can't really have a gender here. So this one is also fake feminine, and singular and feminine. It's broken plural and it's fake feminine. Next, this is the category we'll be talking more on because we already know this. Broken plurals we knew, and now we got to know ta marbuta, alif mamduda, and alif mamduda and alif maksura. But over here, this means this one we don't know. We haven't discussed this yet. Feminine because the Arab said so. You remember how we told plural because the Arab said so? Daqam, nas, qan, that three words. Like that, they are words that are feminine because the Arab said so. And examples of that is Shamsun, which means sun, and Narun, which means fire. So now you know two things: why Baqaratun is feminine and why Shamsun is feminine. And by the way, car, which I discussed earlier, car, that also in Arabic is Sayaratun. Yes, tun. At the end you can see the ta marbut at the end. That's why it's a feminine, and more specifically fake feminine. Okay, so now we'll be discussing feminine because the Arab said so. They are words that are feminine because the Arab said so. What are they? We'll find out. Alright, so now we'll be talking about feminine because the Arab said so. Feminine because the Arab said so. Number one is body parts in pairs. Body parts that are in pairs, Arabs say that they are feminine. For example, eye is feminine. Feet or foot is also feminine. Ear is feminine. Similarly, knee or hand or elbow, all these are feminine words. Why? Because they are in pairs. Body parts that are in pairs are feminine because the Arab said so. Next, random Arabic words which really don't have any correlation between them. For example, sun, well, house, or many more like stars, that also is fake feminine. And these words, they don't have any connection. So how will we learn them? We're going to learn them through a special technique which I learned through. So what are these words? We'll see them in the next slide. Here is the way to learn all the words through a story. This story has all the required words, i.e. all the random words that Arabs say are feminine. Okay, so let's see. During a harb means war. During a harb, a soldier was daydreaming looking at the nujum, stars. Star by itself is the feminine. Out here they're using stars, and stars is broken plural, so again it's feminine. In the sky, in the sama, which is sky. Sama is feminine. All the words harbun, nujumun, samaun, all the Arabic words in the story are feminine because the Arab said so. Until the Shams, sun, came up. When he snapped out of it, he realized that he is the only nafs, person, left on the battlefield surrounded by narun, fire. So he used a dalwun, bucket, full of water to make a sabil, path, all the way to safer ardun, land. In the hot blowing rih, wind, he was desperately looking for a well, to draw water from. In his search, he found an empty dar, house, in which there was a cup, full of khamar, wine. He is tempted, despite his fear of Jahannam, hellfire, to take a sip, but wards off his temptation and uses his asa, staff, to strike the drink. So that's the very short story, and it has all the words. So as you can see, harbun, nujumun, samaun, shamsun, nafsun, narun, dalbun, sabilun, أرض بئر دار ريح كأس جهنم جهنم because it's a place is a light, remember, جهنم خمر عسى. All these words are feminine and they are fake feminine, and on top of that they are feminine because the Arab said so. These are the random words that are feminine because the Arab said so, and you can learn all of them through this short paragraph. And yeah, that's it. Just memorize this story and you'll be able to learn all the benefit of the story is that you know the Arab and the English version. You know the Arab word which is feminine and the English translation, so you're understanding the story because of the translation. Like if I just said doing a harb, you will not understand what a harb is, right? So you're understanding the story because of the English translation, but you're learning the words that are Arabic. So this is the beauty of this entire story which I learned through. This is how I learned the random Arabic words that are feminine, and this is how I want you to learn too, because it's fun. So yeah, just memorize this entire thing and you'll be fine. And that's it. We are done with gender. I told you the only biggest topic is status. Once you do status, the rest topics are not that hard. I mean, they are new, they are something to learn, but not that hard. So now it's just gender review, and you know what we do in review. It's a quick thing and you will be able to review what all you learned. So the first thing we learned is there are two types of gender, masculine and feminine. Masculine, we are going to assume every word is masculine unless it shows signs of femininity. Next we go that feminine has two types, real feminine and fake feminine. Real feminine are words that are biologically feminine, like names, female names, or female roles, like mother and all that. Fake feminine are words that actually don't have any gender, but Arabs call them feminine. The indicators or the signs that a word is fake feminine is ta marbuta, which is the most common, alif mamduda, and alif maksura, which only works in special words. Next is broken plurals, especially non-human broken plurals. They are always fake feminine, i.e. they are always singular feminine, and human broken plurals, there is a possibility that it is feminine. I mean, it's an option, not a possibility, it's an option. Feminine because the Arab said so. Feminine because the Arab said so are divided into two parts. Body parts in pairs. We saw this, knee, elbow, or eyes, even ears. All these are pairs, so that's why they are feminine. And the Arabic words of the story, which I just introduced you to. And I don't expect you to memorize all these right now, but you have the entire week to learn them, so please memorize the story because it will really help you. Now that's all about gender. But are we done with it? No, we are going to have another session where we'll be practicing what you've learned. Because see, one thing is theory, the next thing is practicals. So this was the theory part of gender. In the next lesson we'll be applying it. So you should watch this video again so that you can understand all the concepts that I'm discussing here. You should be able to explain everything over here. It should not be random. It should not be only me explaining. You should be able to explain everything here, like as if you're teaching another person. Like what I'm doing, you should be able to do it. Okay, so that's it. Not memorize everything, just memorize the Arabic words in the story. The rest you just know that they're there. So yeah, that's it. Revise this lesson because you're going to need this in the next video, and if you have any questions, the comment section is always open. So good day and goodbye.